Perfect. All right. We got the video working. All right. Well, good afternoon. My name is James Garcia. I'm a firefighter with Fortress Remington. I've been in the fire service for about 15, 17 years, somewhere around there, with some experience in different types of things. I'm a fire investigator as well. And we're going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation or presentation on fire extinguishers. All of y'all are at home, usually probably right now during the summer and alone. Y'all will probably be making your own meals. I know that Eric almost burnt down the house a couple of weeks ago by leaving the oven on. So things like that can happen. So, do any of you have fire extinguishers in your home? No. You do? Do you? You do? Yeah, Eric, you have fire extinguishers. I know that. You don't, Christine? Y'all? No? Have y'all ever seen a fire extinguisher at home at all? No? Okay. It's a good idea to have a fire extinguisher, even if it's a small one. It gives you time to at least try to put out a fire. So I'm going to show you all exactly the different types of fire extinguishers, the different types of fires that can happen in the kitchen, and things like that. Some examples, some videos that I'm going to play for you. So hopefully this will be an experience that you'll be able to use and maybe tell your parents, if you don't have a fire extinguisher, we ought to buy one for the kitchen. Keep one in the garage. Keep one outdoor by the barbecue grill. You can't imagine how many times people go out in the barbecue grill and they're cooking and they go back inside and they come back and the barbecue grill is on fire. Believe me, it's happened to me. I actually had a barbecue grill that caught on fire. So it's always good to have something with you, just in case. Again, it only slows down the fire. You still have to call, and we're going to go over that. Call the fire department, but at least you'll be able to get down to be able to handle a fire. All right? So thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. And I do have some gifts for you, some pretty gifts that apparently somebody has already kind of ruined the surprise, but I'll tell you all about it later on. Yes, you do get a parting gift. Okay. So again, we're doing the extinguisher training. This is the Fulshire Simmington Fire Department. This is Station 3 where you're at, and I'm going to give you all a tour of the station later on so you can see that. We actually have the new truck that we just got delivered. It's in our base, so y'all get to see that later on. Now, in order for you to understand what you're doing with a fire extinguisher, you have to know the basics of what a fire extinguisher is doing. And one of those things is understand the combustion process and the different types of fire classes. You can't use the same fire extinguisher to extinguish every fire. There are different types of fire. Everybody thinks, okay, there's a fire, I can put water on it, and that's it. You can't do that to every fire. You have fires in your kitchen, you can have fires in your garage, you can have fires in your outdoor with a barbecue grill, but at the same time, you can't use every single fire extinguisher. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to figure that out and what happens. And you have to understand that the fire extinguisher operations and capabilities and limitations of each fire extinguisher. You have to know how they'll work and why they work. And again, understand the basic firefighting concept. You might not be a professional firefighter, but once you start using that fire extinguisher, you will be a firefighter. See? Always. Yes, exactly. Okay. And these two things right here, race and pass, we're going to talk about them and you're going to understand what they mean. So, fire science. There's a science to fire. There's got to be certain things that happen. It used to be a long time ago when I first started in the fire service. We used to have what was called the fire triangle. It didn't include this. It was the fire triangle was oxygen, fuel, and temperature. You have to have all these things in order for there to be a fire. Now they've added a chemical reaction. Okay? So in order for you to have, for example, a fire in a trash can, first of all, you have the materials in there. That's the fuel, paper, let's say. Then somebody throws a cigarette. Okay, that's going to be the temperature, and the oxygen around it is going to create that oxygen. And the chemical reaction will be when finally it ignites. So you have to have that. So fire extinguishers, what they do is they go and they kind of take one of these out. By taking one of these out, you eliminate the fire. And that's what we do in the fire. Most people see us put water on fire, which is what we're doing is we're eliminating the temperature. We're eliminating the fire, bringing it down so that we can go ahead and continue fire and putting it out. But the fire extinguishers can be used for different types of areas so that you can put out the fire in a better manner, for example. These are the fire classes, and I'm going to teach you all a way for you to remember them really simple. Okay. A, anything that's trash or wood or paper. The wood, cloth, paper, rubber, many plastics. Think of it this way. An A-type fire is anything that produces ash. Anything that produces ash. Type B, it's going to be liquid, grease, or gasoline, oil, grease, tar, oil-based, paint, lacquers, flammable gases. Anything that boils. Anything that boils is a class B. So again, A, ash, B, boils. C, electrical fires. Energized electrical equipment. C, what does electric current do? I just said it. Current. Electrical current. C, current. Right? Now this one is combustibles, magnesium, sodium, potassium, titanium. Those are all what? Metals. And metals are what? Very good. Let's see, dense. D. Those are class D. He's been going to school. All right. Okay, so you have class A again. Class A does what? Is anything ash. Class B, oils. Class C, current. And class D, dense metals. Okay. So you're going to use a different type of extinguisher for each one of these. You don't want to put water on a class C fire because current. If you put water on electrical, what's going to happen? You're going to get shocked. Same thing. If you put water on any type of grease and stuff like that, or it's actually going to make it bigger. So there's so you're gonna have a lot of reactions that you have to do. So that's why if you've ever seen these trucks that carry around all these chemicals, and they have these placards on them, and they have a blue and a red, and they have letters on them. That's actually for us to know what they're carrying, so that we know what we need to fight it with, because we can't just throw water on it. So again, it's the same type of thing: ash, oils, current, dense metals. And there's a new one, Class K fires. This was brought up several years ago. What happens is you have a lot of establishments that have kitchens, restaurants, things like that. Your dad owns a restaurant, right? And probably in his kitchen, he's got these things that are right under under the grills that basically will actually put out this powdered stuff to prevent grease fires. But now they're classified all on its own. They're Class K fires. For K for what? Kitchen. Very good. So now we have a kitchen. Yeah, fire involving combustibles, vegetable or animal, non-saturated cooking fats, and commercial cooking. So anything that's commercial. And this is where we should have a video. So I'm going to and I'm going to show you exactly what happens with a grease fire if it ever plays. If you do this quick enough, you're not going to burn yourself. Okay, again, so you never want to put water on a grease fire, and I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you put water on a grease fire. It'll expand, and he's going to explain this, and he's going to give you a commentary of what's happening in this. This is a video from Minnesota from the fire department that put this presentation together. And it kind of gives you an example of what happens when you have grease on, or water on a grease fire.
A stovetop fire, okay? And why we're demonstrating a stovetop fire is because not in Coon Rapids, in Minnesota, and nationwide, the #1 cause of house fires is cooking, okay? Unattended cooking. People start cooking, they walk away for some reason, whether it's to go watch TV, attend to a kid, go to the bathroom, they leave the kitchen unattended. And that's when the oil that they're cooking or whatever they're cooking catches on fire. What we're going to demonstrate to you today is a grease fire, okay? And why you don't want to put water on a grease fire. He's going to use 1 cup of water. So when you think about filling that pan and throwing it on there, the expansion ratio when you do this is 1600 to 1. So what I'm saying by that is, when you have a fire, it's going to expand 1600 times the size if you add water to it. And so if you added a whole pot of water, you can imagine how big that fire would get. He's adding 1 cup, and you're going to see how dramatic that can be.
But right now there's a small fire inside there, and it's starting to build. But right now I could easily put a cover over it, turn off the heat, and leave it alone, and it would be just fine. But what I'll show you is if I take this back off, it's just gonna poof. So you just want to leave the lid on it, just leave it alone. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this grow till the flames get up to about here, which is where the fire stop would typically go. And then we'll put some water on there. We'll show you what happens when you put water on a grease fire. Now, if we were in a totally enclosed kitchen, this fire would roll all the way across your kitchen. I've seen it roll 30 feet. It literally burns all the way down to the floor. It's intense. This is going to come up and out, and I'm going to do it right now here.
Okay, get ready. This is 1 cup of water. Just 1 cup. You can imagine what would have happened had that been you throwing that cup right next to it. That's why we say it's very important that you turn the fire off, put a lid on. Also, have a ABC or BC extinguisher in your kitchen area to put it out. That could put that grease fire out, but definitely not water.
Now, did you see how it expanded? That's usually what burns people. Usually people will try to throw water on it, it'll hit them, and that's what burns them. I've seen many people that have done that and have gotten burned. The safest thing again is to either use a fire extinguisher, and I've seen people who use baking soda, who have baking soda near their kitchen, and they'll throw some baking soda on it. I've actually seen somebody, and actually I did a fire investigation on this house, that the people were cooking in the grease fire started. They started coming up on the kitchen, and the guy went out and got some soap detergent, just not the liquid kind, but the other kind, and he threw it all on there and actually put out the fire. So it works out well as well. So again, you don't want to use any water on a grease fire. Those are the most dangerous. There have been many people who have been burned. There's a lot of people out there doing commercials now showing what the burns are, to try to establish a pattern of letting people know never use water. We'll continue. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna explain to you what the fire extinguisher is. There are many kinds of fire extinguishers, and we're gonna kind of show them all. But most of them have a discharge lever. They have a place where you can see the pressure. You're able to tell how much pressure there is in there. It's got a carrying handle. This handle here doesn't. If you press it, it's basically just for holding. The top one is the one that actually discharges. Then you have the hose. Oh, and you do have a discharging locking pin. It's always locked, and it's always going to have a little round clip on it that holds it. And what that does, it just secures it so that everybody knows that it hasn't been used. And it should have a tag of an inspection. If you go to your schools, you go back next time you look through the halls and you see the fire extinguisher, you see the tags, and it should have a punch hole on the year and the month that it was last inspected. And if you see that it's not hasn't been inspected, then you should tell someone. That's always a good thing. But the fire marshal usually goes in there and checks all of them. And then they have a private company that comes and checks them. You have the discharge hose where the material comes out. There's a data plate that will tell you what it's for. If it's an A, B, C, if it's just a B, if it's just an A, whatever it is, the body of the extinguisher and the discharge orifice on the handle. Now, have y'all ever seen one inside? Have y'all ever seen one opened up? It looks really cool. You can see here's the Diet Coke and the Mentos are poured in there. And that's what produces. No?
No, I don't know.
Okay. You weren't expecting that, were you? Okay. Now, these are the handouts that I gave you. Kind of tells you a little about the extinguisher applications. The fire class A is pressurized with water, multi-purpose dry chemical, large size halon, wet chemical. Again, it puts out trash, wood, and papers. And those are for you, so you kind of take along and you can kind of know, next time you see a fire extinguisher, you can kind of tell what it is. And if you're going to buy some at home or have your parents buy some, you can tell them what is the best one to buy for the areas. Liquid grease, B, multi-purpose dry chemical, carbon dioxide, halon. Halon, they don't make this anymore, and I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about what halon is. Electrical equipment, C, multi-purpose dry chemical, carbon dioxide, halon, wet chemical, combustible metals, and cooking wet chemical. Now they sell, in that video that we saw, they sell these little things, these little canisters that we try to, especially the nursing home, or not the nursing home, but the assisted living facilities where there's a lot of elderly people. Usually that's where we get the most grease fires. They'll go and cook something and they forget, and they walk away and then something burns up. So they started making these little fire stops, and you put them right above the vent hood. And when there's a fire, the flame will actually activate it. It will actually drop a bunch of powder, chemical powder, and puts out the fire. Those are also good. They sell them at Home Depot. Home Depot sells those things. So those are really good. Use an extinguisher for the size of the fire you want. If it's this big, don't try to put it out with a bucket of water. It's not going to go out. It's really not going to help. If you're in the house and a big fire happens, don't try to stop and put it out with a fire extinguisher. Get out of the house. That's not going to work. Only if it's a small fire. That's what you want to fight. A fire with a fire extinguisher, only if it's small. If it's going to put your life in danger, get out. Run out. Okay, these are the types of fire extinguishers with the pressurized water. What we do is we fill up with water, and then we put pressure with air in it, and the pressure will feel indicated on here. These are only used to fight the Class A, which is anything that produces ash, anything paper, wood, trash, anything like that. It's usually a 2.5 gallon water at 150 to 175 psi pressure per square inch. Has a pressure gauge, allows visual capacity to check, 30 to 40 maximum effective range. You can stand pretty far away and can actually try to put out the fire. And I'm going to show you a video on a demonstration on how to put out the fire as well. This can be started and stopped if necessary, so you can actually stop the squeezing process, move over, start all over again. And what it does is it cools down the burning material so that it cools down the ignition point, so you can actually put it out. The carbon dioxide is a Class B and C fires, and you cannot use it on A. It's not going to work on anything that produces ash. So it's only going to be for liquid grease and electrical. It has no pressure gauge. Capacity verified by weight. It's 3 to 8 feet maximum effective range. So it's a little closer. You have to get closer to the fire to be able to fight. It smothers the burning materials, and it decreases the temperature of the burning materials. So that's what it's doing. That's what Class B and C. Multi-purpose dry chemical can be used on all of them. This is what you're going to find in most places, like schools, and you're going to buy this for your house, things like that. He's going to put out A, B, and C. It Also has a pressure check, 5 to 20 maximum effective range feet, and extinguishes by smothering the burning materials. Halon. How many of y'all seen Terminator? Okay. Y'all remember the second movie when they have to break into the place where they are storing the chip in the arm of the Terminator, and they go into this area where the Terminator says, I have to go in, and Sarah Connor and John Connor stay behind. They have to put on the masks because all of a sudden the stuff starts shooting down from the ceiling. That's halon. Most of the companies that back in the 80s, halon was used for companies that had a lot of computer storage. So if you imagine all these computers, there's a fire and the sprinkler system goes off, what would happen to these computers? They would short out. They would not be any good anymore. So halon was a material that was used that would actually stop the oxygen flow in the room. So if you're in a room where halon happened, you would discharge, you would pass out. You wouldn't have any oxygen. So the only way you could get in there was with those masks. And that's what in the movie, that's what they did. So one thing that halon was found to deplete the ozone. So they stopped making halon. But there are still a few places you can still find halon fire extinguishers. I have some. They don't make them anymore, so it's nice to keep them around. But they were used for class A, B, C, or fires, smaller. Usually A, they usually don't want to use them on A, but usually it works well for electrical, especially. What it does, again, it takes out the oxygen. Okay, it does have a pressure check. It's 9 to 16 feet maximum effective range. Works best in confined areas. Again, but if you're going to be in a confined area using this, what's going to happen? You might pass out. Okay, so you don't not want to use it. And it smothers the burning materials. It is toxic if you do inhale it as well. Combustible metals, Class D. You're not going to see these very often, but we have them on most of the fire trucks. This has a pressurized canister right here. This is what we call a headhunter. The reason is because we've actually had firefighters who died while trying to use this fire extinguisher. It's for Class D combustible metals, 30 pounds pressurized by dry powder, optimized for specific combustible metals, also available in bulk containers for hand scooping onto fire. So you might actually have a bucket of it you might be able to use to scoop it out. It's 6 foot to 8 foot maximum effective range, and you have to activate it before you can use it. So there's a pressure, there's a cylinder in there that you actually have to hit, and it breaks open the seal and it pressurizes. So the problem with this is that if it's not a newer fire extinguisher and you have it right here in front of you and you hit the canister, it can come back up. And there have been firefighters that have died from that. So this is a very dangerous. As you can see, the handles here, so you have to kind of hold it away from you, just like you would when you're opening up a champagne bottle. And you hit the pressurized canister, interacts with it, and then you have to replace the canister. So again, you will hardly ever see these. You might see them in fire departments and plants. That's about it. But again, it's used by smothering the burning materials. Wet chemical. This one works for all 3 types: A, C, actually for A, C, and K only. It's 1.5 gallons of stored pressure wet chemical extinguisher. It's 10 to 12 maximum effective feet. And it works well on Class K fires. On Class K fires, don't use it until until the extinguishing agents. Like I was telling you, in the kitchen fires, usually what will happen under the vent hoods, they'll have their chemical agents that will actually put out a fire. You want to use those first. So you're in a restaurant. Your dad's in a restaurant, and there's a grease fire. Most likely, you're going to push the button, and that's going to happen. Or it's going to do it on its own. Once it reaches a certain temperature, it's actually going to automatically set. If it comes down and there's still flames, that's when you want to use this. You want to use it afterwards. And what it does, all it does is it cools, and it forms a blanket to prevent reignition of materials. So you want to use it along with something else. So again, the summary, pressurized water is for cooling, works with cooling for Class A fires, which produce ash. The carbon dioxide, smothers, class B and C. The multi-purpose dry chemicals, smothers, class A, B, C. The halon, which again they don't make very often, or they don't make at all, smothers, and it works well with A, B, and C. Combustible metals smothering works only with class D. Dense metals, wet chemical, cooling smothering works A, B, and K. So those are the five types of fire extinguishers. When you go to Walmart or something like that, or you go to Target, or you go anywhere and they have fire extinguishers, kind of look at them. And I'm going to show them to y'all in a little while. We'll walk around and I'll show you the different fire extinguishers so you can kind of get an idea of what's available. And I was telling you, we're going to go over this. This is the first thing you want to do when there is a fire, especially if you're going to try to, you want to rescue anybody that's needs rescue. You're going to put the alarm. Then you're going to contain and extinguish. So if you are going to stick around and you are going to try to put out the fire, make sure that everybody's safe and that you've already pulled the alarm so that the fire department's coming. And make sure that you use the proper extinguisher and then you try to put it out. So that's, we call it RACE. Rescue, alarm, contain, extinguish. You want to know the different evacuation plans, especially in schools. I know that lately the big thing has been the mass shooters in schools, right? So have y'all had any training as far as what to do? They haven't done anything like that? Okay. Okay, they haven't told you about fighting, if somebody tries to come in?
Oh,
No? Okay. Well,
yeah.
yeah. Then a fire extinguisher makes a great weapon. So always know where a fire extinguisher is. If something like that happens, if you have a shooting in the school and you get into a room, grab a fire extinguisher, stand by the door as soon as you come in. Hey, guess what? Even if you open it up and actually spray them down, you can actually then get the bottle and hit them in the head. Hey, it works well. So you want to know your emergency procedures, your evacuation routes. Michelle kind of makes fun of me because everywhere we go, the first thing I look at is where the exit doors. And I look at the exit doors and I think, okay, I'm not going to go out that exit door because that's the one everybody's going to go out. I'm going to go out through the opposite side. So you have to look at the exit plans, find out where everything's at in the location. Know the location of the extinguishers. They're always going to be marked. They're supposed to be marked, showing that there's an arrow there that says fire extinguisher. But remember, don't always think that fire extinguisher is going to work. There are places who don't inspect their fire extinguishers. Always sound the alarm, regardless of fire size. It could be just some flames in a trash can, and people will be like, it's not a problem. We shouldn't call the fire department. Well, that can easily get really big and actually hit the wall and crawl up the wall and go up the ceiling really quick. Avoid smoke conditions. That's what kills most people. People stick around and then all of a sudden they get the smoke in their lungs and they can't breathe and that's it, they pass out and they die. Ensure that the area is evacuated anytime you're going to use an extinguisher. Don't attempt to fight the fire unless you sounded the alarm. The fire is small and contained. You have a safe egress route. You can be reached without the exposure to fire. Available extinguishers are rated for size and type of fire. So you don't want to fight a big fire with little extinguishers. You don't want to do that. Don't put yourself in danger. All you want to do is help diminish the flames. So when the fire department can get there, they can put it out and the damage won't be too much. So if in doubt, evacuate. When you're fighting a fire with a fire extinguisher, you want to remember the path. Pull the pin, aim low at the base of the flame, squeeze the handle, and sweep side to side. And I have a video here real quick that I'm going to play for y'all. I'll kind of show you this.
issue at the back there, you've got a fire going, he's identified he needs to put that out. Gets up to the extinguisher, has a look for the pressure gauge, to make sure that the extinguisher does have enough pressure in it, the tags are still in. He then removes the safety pin straight out, gives it a test fire off to the side, make sure that it is going to work upwind so he doesn't get it replaced with it. Approaches the fire from upwind, he's going to be doing a sweeping motion, and he's just going to lay that right into the top of it there.
You want to aim for the base.
And then what he's doing there is just making sure that he gets all the corners. Turn it around, comes back out, and puts the extinguisher down. Once he's finished with the extinguisher, he just lays it on the ground. This time John's going to use a CO2 extinguisher. So the same sort of technique, no gauge on this one though. So
You can see his cone is bigger. You never want to grab the cone. You want to grab it by the handle. Because otherwise it'll burn you.
He's tested it, squeezed. Now, the only thing we're a little bit concerned about today is with obviously the wind. So you may not have enough to go in this extinguisher, but you're going to give it a go anyway. See how it's slipping back behind there? Extinguisher. We do not recommend you do this, but I just want to show you the people what happens if you do use a water fire extinguisher on a flame liquid. Checks the gauge, pulls it in, okay, gives it a squirt to make sure it's going to go. Alright, so this is once again you don't do this. This is just to show you what happens. It's just going to aggravate it and flip it around.
Make it bigger.
Alright, so it's not going to do a great deal. So then you change the extinguishers and you'll go for a foam extinguisher. It's the same thing, checks gauge, pulse pin. This one's a little bit different, you'll need to test it and lock the foam on there into a corner and sweep it in. Alright, so this is using foam. Putting a foam blanket out all over the lot, working one corner into the other with very minimal extinguishing agent. It's great for these flammable liquids. So a lot less effort with that one. So what you can see in this series, if you pick the right extinguisher, alright, with the right extinguishing agent in it, then you're going to get the best performance. So we don't recommend you do this at home. You would need to come to one of our courses and we can put you through the same training that these guys have here. Once again, welcome. So once again, thank you for watching Don the Temperature Now 2 series. If you'd like to subscribe down the bottom of the page there.
So it's real simple. Again, using the fire extinguisher is always a trial and error. Try to put out the fire.